Howdy folks, Jake here with Janet Davis Acoustic Music, and today I want to talk a little bit about this guitar here that's kind of near and dear to me. It's kind of a collaboration of myself, my father, who's a great luthier, and a local builder by the name of Charlie Williams. And Charlie's just a cool guy in general. He's 82 or 83 years old, somewhere in that range, and he's a retired cabinet maker. And he actually builds these entire guitars from scratch. He doesn't use any kind of kits or anything like a lot of people do. He hand makes every piece of it. And I've been playing his guitars for quite some time now. He has another model out called a Redneck. That's kind of my signature model of sorts. It's a mahogany vintage style D18 guitar, and it has a bright red neck on it. Kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke there, but I want to talk to you a little bit about this one today because we actually are going to start selling some of these. Most of his guitars that we try to acquire are usually sold long before we ever get them because he sells them at a great price and they're great quality guitars. This one is his TR model, which stands for Traditional Rosewood. And you'll see here, we'll get some close-ups of it and zoom in, but basically it's East Indian rosewood back and sides. AAA grade Sitka spruce top, very high quality ebony fingerboard and bridge. It's got bone nut and saddles naturally. He does do the enlarged sound hole with the fretboard that's bound that hangs one fret over, sort of like a certain famous guitar that you see played a lot. And open gear style Grover or Goto tuners. Depending on what's available at the time he builds one. And he just does a lot of really cool, unique things. To save cost, what we've done on this one in some regard, instead of doing the vintage through style saddle, we just left a standard saddle on top, kind of the standard design. That makes it a lot easier to put in a pickup too. If you got that through saddle, you have to do a lot of special carving with those saddles to get a pickup to work just right. They're kind of a pain. And really, through my experience over the years, I've never found a huge sound benefit to, a lot of those guitars with through saddle sound great, but I think they sound great for other reasons, Some other things, we left the center stripe of binding that goes down the middle seam of the back here. We left that out, just to save a little bit of money there for the buyer. Because you can't see it when you're playing it anyway. Another thing, we stuck with the traditional 28 style binding, and the reason we did that, actually, it looks more from a distance like a pre-war guitar. This new binding you see on Martin herringbones is a big, thick herringbone binding. The original binding wasn't like that. It was very petite compared to that. It was still a herringbone, but you can't really find that like that original binding anymore. So this to me actually looks better, from a certain distance away. It looks more correct. Let's see, what else have we done? Oh, here's something neat here. The actual peg head itself, we did cut the neck just a little wider, and it's got kind of a neck profile that I favor. Kind of just more like a nice U profile. It doesn't have that V that some people's hands disagree with. I tend to like the V as well, but this fits me, I think, just a little bit better. It's a little more comfortable. But up here at the headstock, where a lot of Martin guitars, they'll come off at an angle right here at the nut, and so you initially, if you're trying to store, if you use a capo the same type I do, I use a McKinney style. A Page or something like that would be similar if you didn't have one of these $200 capos. But any kind of capo that attaches here, I like to store it behind the nut. And so the way Mr. Williams cuts the peg head is perfect for that, because if you can see that there, I get quite a bit of distance here. It stays plumb out of my way of my hand. A lot of the Martin guitars that I own, because of the profile of the neck and everything, you're lucky to get it right there. And that can tend, like I said, never really bothered me terribly, but that could tend to bug a lot of people. So this gets it plumb back there out of your way. The neck itself is solid mahogany, and the joint is very similar to, say, like a Collings guitar. It's not exactly the same, but it's kind of the same concept. It's an actual dovetail joint, but it's bolted on. So if you ever want to do a neck reset, they're very easy. You know, that's my mentality of when I buy things like that is, I think long term, any guitar, if you have it for 30, 40, 50 years, it's probably going to need a little work. So, just simple things like that make this, kind of an easier maintenance guitar. Now, the last final and most important change that he's made, the bracing pattern on the inside is a forward shifted scallop bracing. But what he does, he takes those braces and he splits them down the middle, and he laminates them with a thin layer of carbon fiber, which makes them incredibly strong, and it also allows the guitar to not be so affected by moisture and temperature changes. And all of those things together just make up it's an incredibly powerful guitar. This one here is actually mine. I bought the first one, and then this one I have set to my right, I think is number 4 or 5. It's the first one we were able to get here to sell. So I'm going to actually play both these guitars a little bit, and so you can see their consistency. I'll do a couple tunes on each one of them. So stay tuned, and if you like what you hear, and give us a call. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.